we are going to discuss the verbal communication. So this is a form of a communication, verbal communication. Verbal communication, first let us understand communication. It is about talking, sharing your experience, debate, conferences. So verbal communication is all about sounds, words we use in normal talking. Then we form a sentence using these words. Language, in which language we are talking, say in Japanese, say in Mandarin or Hindi. And then speech, the way you speak, the tone, the intensity, activeness, passiveness. So this all comes under verbal communication. There is a very misconception here. Verbal doesn't only mean spoken. Verbal communication also involves written. So speaking is one of the most, in verbal communication, speaking is one of the most effective and the commonly used way of expressing and sharing communication. Because here we are able to share in front, expressing our emotion, our gesture, our posture, also in words. So, if we improve our verbal communication skills, that we may have already, but we can improve it in order to build a good rapport and connect with our colleagues, our people, our friends, our relatives, everyone. So the important forms in which verbal communication comes, or we can say verbal communication has different types, different forms. The first is interpersonal communication. That means personal. Two people are talking or people are talking. So this form of communication, here one-to-one communication, or two individuals are talking. So this is also called as one-to-one conversation, face-to-face conversation. So it can be formal or it can be informal. If we are friends, it's informal. If a boss is there, then boss and employee, they talk in a formal way. Friends, informally. Manager discussing employee, formal. Two friends, informal. Two people talking on video call or phone, if they are friends, it's informal. So this all comes under interpersonal communication. The second one is written communication. As I said, verbal communication, there is a misconception that we always think it is spoken. No, it's written also. So written communication, this involves writing, proper writing of words, of sentences, of whatever you have in different languages. So it can be a letter, it can be a circular, reports, manuals, a short message service, WhatsApp, WeChat, Facebook, Twitter, social media chats, all comes under this written communication, right? On Facebook, Twitter, wherever. For example, manager is writing an email to the employee that you have done a very good job. Keep working like this. This is written communication. Or if you're asking about the health of your grandmother, writing a letter. So this is a written communication. Small group communication. When you have people which are more than two but less than 15-20, this is called a small group communication. So this type of communication, when we have more than two people involved, each participant can talk, interact and converse with the others. So this is a conversation you see. It can be a press conference. It can be a meeting of a board. It can be team meetings also. Everyone is sitting and discussing. This is called SGC, small group conversation or communication. Then we have public communication. That is a single person on the dais, on the podium, and he is delivering his message or thoughts in certain language to different people. And these people are more than 15-20. He is Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada. So this type of communication takes place when one individual, one person addresses or delivers his message to a large gathering. We see election campaigns, Mr. Modi does it all the time, public speeches by various dignitaries, and also the Babas and the Maulvis, they also do the public communication. There are certain advantages and disadvantages of verbal communication. First of all, this verbal communication is the most easy way of communication, easy mode of communication, because now you're exchanging ideas, you're saying, and you're getting quick responses, and you can change your responses depending on the other person reply. So it is, you can say, on the go, fast, effective, efficient, and most of the time used kind of communication, that is verbal communication. What are the disadvantages? This disadvantages that you are saying something, the other person is understanding something else. That is, if you don't use the right words, if you don't form a good sentence, the other person will think something very different, what you intended. Verbal communication. How do you master it? I'm saying you might be very good at verbal communication, but most of the people we see, they are very nervous. When they come or when they talk with others, they don't look into the eyes, they shiver, their heartbeat grows, or heart beats faster. Even if they are talking to their teachers or a manager, supervisor of whom they know very well. But still, their heart starts pounding. They are nervous. So there are certain ways you can enhance and master this verbal communication skills. What are these? First, think before you speak. Whatever topic is there, for example, budget you're trying to discuss, you need to know it, ins and outs. You cannot just extempore there. So think before you speak, know about your topic, prepare yourself, give that time. And the way you should present, because if you're boring, nobody will understand you, or nobody will give ears to you. Always write down, note down what are you going to speak. If you're not comfortable, just write it down. Whatever down. Second thing is concise and clear. People who are speaking 10 sentences, the other person can only say one sentence and he will give all the message. So speak clearly, loudly, not very loud, right? It's just moderate speed. Don't be so fast. Don't be very slow. Whenever you are sharing some information, you need to know, share that point which is intended. Don't repeat, because other person will feel that you're not confident or you are just repeating yourself. The important thing is body language and confidence. Your posture, your gesture, your feelings, your expressions. Be confident. You are the best. You know it. If you have good vocabulary, you know that language, you can be confident. Maintain eye contact, stand straight, and be attentive. And always don't put your arms around, just say and just present yourself friendly. Don't be argumentative, don't be arrogant, don't be negative, right? This is how you master your verbal communication. Now let's take the question and answer. Which of the following is an example of oral communication? So these are the NCERT solution which I'm presenting here. So the answer is, oral means when you speak, you have to speak. So this is through phone call. On phone call, you actually speak, the other person listens, and the vice versa thing happens. What are the types of words we should use for verbal communication? What are the types of words? Simple. Don't be Shashi Tharoor. Don't use flabbergastic kind of word. Flabbergastic or some word is there. Just use simple word. Just say happy in terms of using that big word. Okay. Because the main idea is let people understand what you want to say, not make them feel that, oh, you know English, you know everything, right? Why do we use emails? Because you want to communicate with many people at the same time. CC, BCC, carbon copy, blind carbon copy you can do to share documents and file. On email, you can send photo, PDF, spreadsheet, Word document, even audio, video. There are so many format it accepts. Now, real time you're not talking, so we just cross it. To keep a record of communication, yes, it is there. But see, the first and second options, they are outshining the last one. So we'll stick to A and B as the answer. Okay. List the different types of verbal communication. Include examples for each verbal communication type. So we have discussed about it. Let me just go through it quickly. Interpersonal communication, a manager-employee communication. Two people are communicating one-to-one, face-to-face. He might be, giving him appreciation or maybe giving him some advice. Written communication is all about writing. It can be letter, it can be chat. For example, you are sending your friend happy birthday. So this is written communication. Small group communication, more than 2, less than 15, 20. These are meeting. It can be board meeting, press conferences, or the team meetings. Public communication, when one person is delivering message or addressing a large number of people. It can be election campaign, it can be some pravachan, it can be just some ideas.